So I look for properties that are Section 8, preferably Section 8. And the reason why is because government's never late on rent. Government's never late on rent. During COVID, when I first was doing this structure, a lot of people would say, man, I don't want to deal with Section 8 properties, man. They do this, they do that. But I tell them that in these other states where people are not on top of each other and things of that nature, it's more of a laid back. You know, it's not like you have to come home, the elevator's broke, you're walking up the steps, 30 houses, everybody's on top of each other. No, these people going to work, they may need assistance, they may not need assistance, but they're taking care of those properties. So that's a moneymaker for me. And when I was buying those, people really, like I said, was looking at it as a negative. But when COVID hit, and a lot of my investor friends were not getting rent, and we would have these discussions, and they would go, Storm, how you doing? Go, I can't relate to y'all. Like, I can't, because I'm still getting $15,000 a month in rent continuously. So
Section 8, I know VA is something that you spoke about, and long-term residence.
Yes, yes.
Talk about the importance of that, right? Because I mean, one of the things I heard you speak about it was rent rolls. I haven't heard people really talk about rent rolls, but now when you think about it, right, that's the proven method, right? We're seeing people paying. They're productive. They haven't been late. How important that is, because I think that's a step that I don't think I've heard anybody really talk about when we talk about real estate.
Yes, sir. And I'll take credit for that. Don't worry. I'm going to pick that up. I'll take that definitely. 100%, because like I said, it's like buying a company. So if I'm looking for a long-term tenant, preferably they've been living there over a year and a half, and then I request a rent roll. A rent roll strictly states and shows how long they've been paying rent and if it's been on time or if it's been late. So if I'm looking at this asset and somebody says, here's the payment structure from this asset, they've never defaulted on a payment for an entire year and a half. Why am I not going to buy it? If I buy it, what, are they going to stop making payments? So now I'm like, yeah, I'm buying that company. I'm buying that asset because the money has been proven. It also proves another thing. Either they work city, state, federal, or government jobs, and they weren't impacted by COVID. Whatever job they have is needed. So I really want that tenant. And I give this example to a lot of my mentees that I teach. I say, if you want to buy a property, I have this nice shiny object, brand new renovated property. You can get $1,500 in rent. You just got to go put a tenant in there. Or there's this other property, somebody's been living in there. They've been paying $1,000 a month. The property is doing well. They've never been late for 2 years. Which one would you want? You would go find the tenant. Now you may lose 1 month of rent, 2 months of rent till you find a new tenant in there. Then you get a tenant. You don't really know the history. You don't really know if their job could withstand a COVID situation or a downturn, or someone who's been proven that you got $12,000 coming every single year with a mortgage of about $500. Which one you want?
I'm taking the latter.
The rent roll is very important. I remember Matt, we bought a property with Matt, and he was talking about he wanted to check that out to see the rent history.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't think a lot of people are talking enough about, because that's kind of is gonna give you a window of what you're getting.
Yep.
But you could be buying a property and the person has to pay rent for 2 years.
Good luck.
Especially if a state like New York where you really can't even kick people out. It might take 2 years to kick a tenant out. So you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. And like you said, that'll show, even if they're late every single month, that's a habit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a red flag.
Exactly.
3 late payments in a year. You see these things.
Yep.
It's like the same way on a credit report, right? Like, if they see 3 late payments of any payment on your credit history, now you're not as trustworthy. And so if you look at it from that mindset, it makes more sense. Like, wait, I'm not going to get this asset. They're not credit worthy, or they're not even worthy to be purchased.
But how do you know the landlord is giving you accurate information?
That's another one. Great question, because I get that a lot. I'm serious. People say, yo, how do you know you're getting the right information? I only buy properties that have property managements attached to them. Any mom and pop properties, and I'm asking for the rent roll, which I very rarely would buy one from a mom and pop because they don't have a system to keep track of that accurately. So they would have to rely on giving you bank statements. And then I tell people the bank statements of what they're giving you, they're going to be late payments in there. And what they're going to say a lot of times is, oh, I got the check and I didn't have time to deposit. So now you're taking the word of someone who's trying to sell a property to you. That's a problem.
Yeah, so that's a lot, right? So that I'm trying to draw the team up in my head. Mm-hmm. Property management is one, but you're not there. So I wonder how important, and if this is a part of the team, roles like somebody who's doing the appraisal process for you, or somebody that's doing inspection for you.
Yep.
Like, are these roles that's part of the team? Because if it's out of state and I'm not there, I kind of got to rely on these people.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So is this part of the team?
Yes, I call it the money team, right? This is my money team. Now, when you find that first property, the first thing you're going to do, you got to get you a realtor. Because even when you find a property, you use the methods that I use, you can't put the offer in yourself. You need a realtor to put the offer in for you. So my thing is I tell people, get you a realtor through Realtor, Zillow, whatever. And if that property isn't available, what you do is you let the realtor know that, hey, I'm an out-of-state investor who's only interested in tenant-occupied properties. If something comes up, send them directly to me. And the reason why they would love to send that to you is because they don't want to split the commission. If you're a realtor and you get a property and you can sell it, but you go, it would sell faster on Realtor, I just need to split my commission with them. But you said, oh man, I got Storm over here. He likes tenant-occupied. You're going to call me so I can buy it. You're just going to give me the information. So it's important to build that relationship with the realtor. Now, after the realtor, you sign a purchase agreement. You put in certain contingencies when you're buying these properties. The contingencies are, you want the rent roll, you want the leases. If it's Section 8, you want the Section 8 certification. And the reason why I like to buy properties that are Section 8 already, tenants in there already, is because you're inheriting the certification. People, when you buy property and now you go downtown and now you got to file for Section 8, you got to wait for an inspection, that take months. Those mortgage payments are kicking in. But when you buy a property and someone who's Section 8 lives there already, they're just signing over certification to you. You're a Section 8 landlord now. So now when that person moves out, guess what? You can put another Section 8 tenant in there. And if it's a duplex, triplex, or a quad, guess what? You're a Section 8 landlord. You don't have to go downtown. You don't have to do the paperwork. You're inheriting everything that comes with the Section 8 property. So that's another thing why I stay away from vacancies and trying to do Section 8. That takes time. So now once I get that, I get my realtor. Now I get the inspector. The realtor is so crucial with referrals. See, this is all on relationships. The realtor is going to recommend an inspector to go do the inspection and make sure the property is in good shape. Even though you're buying a property with tenants inside the property, I always send, I'm going to drop this now. Y'all make sure y'all pick this up. It's crucial.
Very important. Make
sure you send your property manager with your inspector. The reason why is because the inspector is going to inspect the property. The property manager is going to inspect the tenants. He's going to make sure the tenants are not tearing the house up. He's going to make sure the tenants are keeping the place clean. He's going to do all of those things because he doesn't want to now work with a property where he's going to have to keep coming back here over and over again. So now think about that. I got the realtor hook me up with the inspector. The inspector can also tell me key things like, oh, this area is coming up. A lot of investors are coming in. Bing, I'm buying more properties. The inspector could tell me a lot of inspectors are running. I'm not going to buy properties. The inspector can tell me, oh, they're talking about opening up a Walmart. That's crucial. When I bought 15 properties in Birmingham, Alabama, the main reason was because on biggerpockets.com, we got the word that there was an Amazon warehouse coming before the news. That's what a community does. That's what inspectors, the information that's on the street. So what we did, all of us were just buying. So that's another part of the team. So now you also get yourself a handyman or a contracting company. You're not getting them to do fix and flips, right? You're just getting them because when you have a property management, they will sometimes outsource repairs. So you want to be able to compare the price with somebody you have just in case you need someone that can get the work done. Mm-hmm. But you want to also, remember, everything I'm talking about is thinking on a level of delegating duties and becoming a CEO and now being able to expand your company and building out your money team. And here's the part about your money team. Nobody's on salary. Everybody's working for you literally, and you're not paying them. And now you're expanding that relationships and you're the go-to guy because you're showing them you have a structure that works and they know you're doing good business.